All right, championship weekend in NCAA or in college basketball. Is there anything that really sticks out to you this week for championship week, Michael?
Uh, Not really. I guess just seeing who wins the Big 12, I think that'll be big. The Big 10, I think that's going to be big.
Do you have a prediction on who takes the Big Ten championship this season for this tournament?
The Big 10 championship, I personally don't know. It could be several teams, but I think Michigan right now has the best shot, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean Michigan did win the season, and I don't think I don't know. I'm not sold on Michigan yet. I don't know. I feel like there is someone better than them in that conference. I really like Illinois. To be honest with you, I've watched the last few games from the Fighting Illini, and I don't know. I like them to win the tournament. I know it's crazy, and a lot of people will say, why do you have Illinois winning? I got a feeling, man. I've never really seen Illinois be this good. So I don't know. I have some type of belief in Illinois to win that conference. I mean, there's other teams like Iowa and Ohio State, and of course Michigan, but I just got in Ohio State. But right now, I'm going to say Illinois wins that Big Ten championship, and I think if they were to win, they would get one of the number one seeds in the tournament. Yesterday, or actually it was on Tuesday night, Gonzaga had a little bit scare with BYU. Do you think Gonzaga, if they would have lost to BYU, Michael, they wouldn't have got the number one seed?
I don't think so, just because they've dominated everyone else in the season, but I do think it would have probably hurt them a little bit.
Well, I mean, I saw that game, and it pretty much in the first half, BYU dominated, and all of a sudden the second half, Gonzaga comes out of nowhere and just dominates. And, I wasn't super impressed by Jalen Suggs, but he did grab 23 points on the game. Corey Kispert, his teammate, was really impressive, and he had some big shots there to tie the game. And then, of course, Jalen Suggs took off with about 8 minutes remaining left in the game. But, yeah, Gonzaga, I think if they would have lost to BYU, they still would have been a number one seed, but they wouldn't have been the top overall seed because it's kind of a bad look to lose to BYU, who they're a good team, but they're definitely not a top-tier team. And Gonzaga, if they're supposed to be the best team in college basketball, which I think they are, that would have really hurt the Bulldogs. ACC tournament right now, it seems like Virginia or Florida State are the favorites to win it. Who do you like winning that tournament, Michael?
I think Virginia is going to win it just because Virginia has been pretty decent the past few years.
Yeah, I probably would agree with you on that one. Florida State is pretty solid this year. But, man, the ACC is just it's just not what it was the last few years. And that's really shocking because almost every year you can say the ACC is the best. With North Carolina and Duke struggling, it just seems like, it's kind of weird to have those teams not survive. But I'm going to agree with you. I think Virginia does win the ACC this year. I mean, they're still technically defending champions. But, yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Big 12, who do you like, Kansas or Baylor?
I think Baylor is going to win it personally, but I think Kansas does have a good shot. I think it's going to be a pretty close game.
Do you think if Kansas and Baylor both make it to the Big 12 championship game, they both get number one seeds regardless of who wins and loses that matchup?
I could see it. I think it's either going to be two Big 12 or two Big 10 teams is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and of course, well, you can't forget about Gonzaga because I think they're
Well,
going to
yeah,
get the number one overall
Gonzaga.
seed.
I think it's going to be Gonzaga, whoever wins the Big 12, whoever wins the Big 10, and then either one of the losers of the Big 10 or the Big 12. So, like, if Baylor wins either Kansas or, Illinois possibly or State or Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you there too. Do you think that, do you think Virginia maybe gets a number one overall seed somehow?
I think they'll probably win somewhere on the 2 seed, even if they win the ACC championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think on almost every single year, there's at least one ACC team getting number one seed, so that's a little odd for that not to happen. Right now, it seems like Luka Garza has the College Player of the Year locked up. But do you think Jalen Suggs, if he were to have a successful run the tournament, do you think he threatens Garza a little bit?
He might, just barely, but I think Garza's going to run away with it still.
Yeah, he's been very impressive, and I think we mentioned this last week. I pretty much just asked you the same question, but I mean, Garza just, I think he's a beast, first of all, and he's just unstoppable, it seems like. And, imagine if you played, I'm not saying Iowa, I mean, I was really good this year, but I don't think I was going to win it. And imagine if you played with a really, really good team, a team like Gonzaga. I mean, that team would be dominating. That Garza would clearly be College Player of the Year, and I think Gonzaga would win the championship if they were to have a guy like Luka Garza. But I'm not saying I was a bad team. I just think that, imagine if Garza was with just a little bit better of a team. But we'll see what happens. I think Garza is going to easily run away with it, but we still got a lot left to go. But I think it's pretty much been solidified. Right now, I think recently you said you have Gonzaga in your championship game, right?
Yeah.
Have you changed your opinion on that, or?
No, I think it's still going to be Gonzaga, and then I think it's either going to be Gonzaga or Michigan or Gonzaga and Baylor.
I think it's going to be Gonzaga and Baylor just because of how good Baylor's been this year. And I think Michigan, I think they go to the Final Four, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Gonzaga and Baylor. And then Gonzaga probably wins by 8 or 9 points, even though that's really hard to think because almost every year Gonzaga seems like they do really good and then they struggle going to the tournament, except for in 2017 when they went to the championship game and got beat by UNC. All right, before we end the conversation, do you have anything else you want to say, Mike?
No, I don't think so.
All righty. Once again, guys, thanks for tuning in. And again, Michael, thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening to the Sports Town Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. If you want to check out more videos of the Sports Town Podcast, click on the left. If you want to subscribe to the channel, click on the right.